Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forest. So grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and spend the next few minutes with me. And don't believe everything you hear, and check your facts, do your own research. What that really means is, don't believe everything I tell you. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are saying? Yes, I think you do. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are talking? This is Find Out What's in My Forest. Yes! What's up, everybody? How are you doing? You know why I feel fabulous? I feel fabulous because you're fabulous. And that's the truth. Ha! We have a great show lined up for you this evening. I got some news to share with you. And if you didn't know it, now you're gonna. Hello everybody, how are you? I hope that everything in your life is going fabulous. I'm feeling quite fabulous today because I actually got some sleep for a change. But I have some cool news to share with you, so stay tuned. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. You know, I just like this song. Move on with your life. You know, there's a good message in that. If something is rubbing you the wrong way, put it aside. You step aside and move on. Anyway, I got some cool stuff to tell you about, and I'm going to start out with fugitive polygamists may have been swept away in the rapture. So check this out, because that's what his attorney is saying. So listen to this. The FBI now have their eyes on a man by the name of Lyle Jeffs. According to the article I read, he is a polygamist religious leader accused in a multi-million-dollar food stamp scheme. Now, he has disappeared from house arrest. Now, let me remind you that this gentleman, Lyle Jeffs, is a religious leader, okay? His public defender is actually standing by that story, but he's gone so far as to file paperwork in support of Mr. Lyle Jeffs' continuance. So listen to this article. This is off the hook. The FBI thinks that Lyle Jeffs, he is the polygamous religious leader accused in a multi-million-dollar food stamp scheme. Now, he disappeared from house arrest this summer. And guess how he disappeared? Guess how he got out of his ankle bracelet? This is truly classic. He escaped this summer by coating his ankle monitor in olive oil and sliding it off. But in court documents filed last week, Jeff's attorney has put forth a divine reason for his disappearance. Religious people, man, guess what his reason is? The reason is the miracle of rapture. Now, I've heard the devil made me do it, but this is the first time that I have heard the miracle of rapture. So, as this court is well aware, Mr. Jeffs, is currently not available to inform his counsel whether or not he agrees to the continuance. Isn't this bizarre? Now, whether his absence is based on absconding, as oft alleged by the government and their filings, this is ridiculous, or whatever he is taken, but anyway, they're claiming that this man has been taken up by the rapture. So rapture in the Christian belief, this is what it means. Rapture is the Christian belief that during the second coming of Christ, the holy will be whisked away to heaven. Now, hold on. Now, let me remind you, this religious, God-fearing man is a polygamist, okay? And he has fled authorities by coating his ankle bracelet, ankle monitor bracelet, ankle jewelry, whatever you want to call it, coated that sucker with some olive oil and got ghost. So it says here that since he's been missing, he's been missing for over a month, and what was left behind was the greasy ankle monitor. Now, the FBI is not buying the heavenly intervention angle of him being raptured. Now, when you get raptured, doesn't that mean that they take the good people up and the bad people are left behind? Now, he's a religious leader. He's a polygamist. So obviously he's a serial marriage, let's get married person, and he's also a liar. But God's going to have extra mercy on his disrespectful polygamy lying behind. And it's going to take him up to heaven and leave the rest of us down here. I don't think so. So anyway, it says that the organization issued a wanted poster for Jeffs, who is thought to be a leader in the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, the church is not affiliated with the Mormon Church. They separated decades ago. But their members do practice polygamy, and they have been accused of taking wives who are too young to give consent. Now, do you hear all this corruption this religious leader is doing? And he's going to get raptured, and God's going to have mercy on him for doing all this heinous stuff, and to young girls and boys too. So agents say that Jeff is most likely hiding out in one of the safe houses belonging to the church, and that he should be considered armed and dangerous. This wonderful God-fearing religious man, people. And the church is hiding his no good behind. Now, the FBI is offering $50,000 for information that leads to Lyle Jeffs' arrest. But they say the case is more than just an excuse for a defendant, on the lam. The controversial church, their whole existence may hinge on whether Lyle Jeffs remains free or is captured. So the Southern Poverty Law Center has called the FLDS a white supremacist, homophobic, anti-government, totalitarian cult that has taken over small towns on the Utah-Arizona border. Well, I guess they just upgraded Jim Jones in Guyana tragedy, huh? So, in a civil rights trial, prosecutors argued that 2 of those communities discriminate against people who are not church members. So, Lyle Jeffs and 10 other FLDS members were arrested in February after being accused of diverting $12 million in federal benefits. Now, listen to this. Lyle Jeffs' brother, Warren Jeffs, is serving a life sentence after he was convicted of sexually assaulting girls he considered his brides. Well, you know what? It's so funny. Check this out. And you mark my words. Remember I said this, people, because what's going to happen here is they started with dogs, put a little chip in Fluffy. So if Fluffy digs under the fence and gets out, you can call the SPCA and say, "Is Fluffy there? His chip number is 5273415. Get your dog back." Hold on. It's not paradise for him, because to tell you what's going to happen, now that these fools keep finding ways to get out of their ankle bracelets no matter how tight we put them on, you know what's going to happen? They're going to start putting a chip in the right hand or the right forehead of the criminal. And speaking of chip, listen to this. And this article is like 4 pages, so I'm only going to read part of it. But if you look up online, all Americans to receive microchip soon, you will come across this article. I'm just going to read a small part of it, but Listen at this. It says, whoop, wait a minute, check this out. I had to do that. Anyway, check this out. All Americans to receive microchip soon. All United States citizens, including babies, will receive a mandatory microchip soon. Do you believe that? Now, according to this is not some dark conspiracy. It has been openly discussed and placed into various pieces of legislation for decades by Republicans and Democrats, dating all the way back to 1974. A microchip implant is in the Obama healthcare bill. And it's in there, people. Did you read it? Did you come across it? You probably might be a little bit thrown off because it's not written in language that you would just automatically recognize. So listen at this. However, most people miss seeing it because it is written using ambiguous and technical language. The language defines a microchip implant as a Class 2 device that is implantable according to the government's own definition. Isn't that crazy? So the A-Class 2 device that is implantable is a transponder, which is an RFID chip. Therefore, it's a microchip. So anyway, I'm going to cover more about that in the next episode because it is a long article, but there's a lot of stuff in there that I actually want to point out and read. So we might pick this up in episode 62 or 3. But in the meantime, I have some other really cool news here to talk to you about. State Farm, their revenue just plunged $9 billion. Okay, $9 billion. Now, farm revenue in California has dropped by more than $9 billion last year as the drought forced farmers to scramble for water and crucial commodities, which declined in price. And this is according to the data that's been released by the state and federal government. But according to this article, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Economic Research Service, they said this. Farm income totaled $47 billion and 7 cents last year. Now that compared with a record of $56.61 billion in 2014. Now, although the drought, which has cut off deliveries of surface water, supplies to large swaths in the Central Valley, farmers have been able to increase revenue by pumping more groundwater and switching to high dollar crops such as almonds. So our farming and the way what people are growing is going to be changing real soon here. Also, Los Angeles has to pay a fine of $200 million plus. So it's more than $200 million. They're not giving me the whole gist of it here. But this is to settle a housing lawsuit. Now listen to this. Los Angeles will spend more than $200 million over the next decade to settle a federal lawsuit alleging the city failed to provide enough apartments for people with disabilities in publicly funded housing developments. So city officials will be required to ensure that 4,000 units are accessible to people who use wheelchairs, have hearing impairments, or live with other disabilities. Now, the city could reach that goal by constructing new apartments, redesigning existing ones, or demonstrating that units that were already built are acceptable. So a lawyer for 3 groups of people have actually sued the city. They called this agreement the largest accessibility settlement ever reached involving affordable housing. That crazy? And let's see. And one more thing that I just came across a couple of days ago. Check this out. The Silicone Valley Billionaires. There's 10 of them. I haven't found out what their names are. But they believe that we are living in the Matrix. And they're trying to break us out of this sucker. Stephen King, the dome, hello. It's crazy. So what do you think about that? Do you think that we are in fact, living in a dome? And also another thing that I want to talk about too is now our babies, our designer babies, have 3 DNAs. Not just 2 anymore. They have the mother, the father, and something else. We are going to pick that up on our next episode. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. So on that note, my people, thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Like I always tell you, people have feelings. Okay? Be nice to people. Say a kind word to somebody to make their day. It's very, very hurtful when you like somebody or you like people and you think that they like you too. And then you find out that they don't like you and you're the butt of all their jokes. And they talk about you behind your back and make fun of you. When you come across people like that, don't give into it. Don't give them what they want. Walk away from those people. X those people out of your life and don't look back. Because people that love and care about you, they want you to be happy. They want you to be well. And they want nothing but good things for you. So remember that. Be nice to somebody. So on that note, everybody, I am so very grateful for everything. And I am grateful for you too. So go to my book, get my website, Angels Passing Through, get my book and get my website. I hope you have a fabulous day. God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Find out what's in Pelenta's Forrest. Have a great day, everybody. God bless. Be nice to people. It matters. God bless you.